Hello, I'm Chris. In this video, we're going to have a look at how to change gear using the palming method. It might look complicated at first, but having your hand in the correct position on the gear lever will help you get into the correct gear every time. If you're a new driver, or someone who occasionally changes into the wrong gear by accident, then hopefully this video will help. There are normally 5 forward gears, and 1 gear for reversing. Reverse gear is identified by the letter R, and it might be in a different position depending on the car. You need to remember the diagram on top of the gear lever, as it shows the gear layout. When changing gear, it will be tempting to look down where your hand is going, but looking down when you're driving could be dangerous. At the moment, the gear lever is in neutral, which means that it's not in any gear. You can tell it's in neutral as you can move the gear lever freely left and right along this line. You wouldn't be able to do this if it was in gear. The gear lever is spring loaded, which means that it always springs to its central neutral position, just below third and above fourth. You'll need to remember this because when you change gear, it's important to apply pressure in the correct direction, or you could make an error and change into the wrong gear. I'm going to change into first gear from this neutral position. I'll point my thumb down with my palm facing away from me, as I'll be pushing in left against the spring, and then forward to first. To change up to second gear, my hand will keep in the same position with slight pressure to the left as I move the gear lever backwards to second gear. Having my hand in this position prevents the gear lever springing into neutral and then possibly selecting the wrong gear. I'm going to change up to third. Changing up to third, fourth and fifth, I'll move my hand so that my palm is facing myself and my thumb is pointing up. Don't forget that the gear lever is spring loaded and wants to spring to the central neutral position just under third. Unlike first to second, where I didn't want it to spring to the central position, this time I do, and my hand position will allow this to happen. A little pressure forwards, and it springs to neutral, and then straight forward to third. A common mistake is to force it into third. This could lead you changing into first or fifth by accident. Always remember to be gentle when changing gear, and don't force it. I'll change back to second, and I can demonstrate the spring with my finger to show how just by pushing forward, it springs into the neutral position, and then I'll push forward again into third. I'll change back down to second. Remember not to force it into third. You don't need to push left or right on the gear lever. Just push forward slightly, let it spring to neutral, and then forward again. To change from third to fourth, hand in the same position with my thumb pointing up and palm facing me, and then move it in a straight line backwards. To change from fourth to fifth, hand in the same position, move it forward slightly to neutral, a little pressure right, and forward to fifth. We're now going to have a look at changing down through the gears. To change from fifth to fourth, I'll have my palm facing me with my thumb pointing up. I want to allow it to spring to the central neutral position. A little pressure backwards, let it spring to the centre, and then move backwards to fourth. Changing from fourth to third, you can keep your hand in the same position and push forward without any pressure pushing left or right. To change from third to second, I'll need to push against the spring. So I'll change my hand position so that my palm is facing away from me and my thumb is pointing down. Remember, anytime you want to change to first or second, your palm should face away from you. I'll move it backwards slightly so it springs to neutral, push left, and then backwards to second. With second to first, I don't want it to spring to the central neutral position as I might change to third by accident. I'm giving it slight pressure to the left and forwards to first. To change into reverse gear from neutral, my palm will be facing me. I'll push to the right and backwards. As mentioned earlier, reverse can be in a different position depending on the car, and sometimes you might have to push down or pull a collar up. We're now going to have a look at what is sometimes called selective or block gear changing. This is basically skipping gears. Instead of changing through the gears, for example from 4th to 3rd to 2nd, slow down to the appropriate speed and then change from 4th straight to 2nd. It's less work for you and better for your clutch and gearbox. You can also block gear change up, as long as you have enough speed for that gear. Let's change from 5th to 2nd. Anytime that you change to 1st or 2nd, make sure that your palm is facing away from you and thumb is pointing down. Slight pressure backwards to let it spring to neutral. Push left and backwards to 2nd. Let's try 5th to 3rd. My palm is facing me, as I want to let the gear lever spring to the centre, just under 3rd. Slight pressure backwards, so it springs to neutral, and then forward to 3rd. 3rd to 1st, I need to push against the spring, so my palm is facing away from me. Slight pressure backwards to neutral, push left against the spring, and then push forward to 1st. I'm going to change from 3rd to 5th. Palm facing me, slight pressure backwards to neutral, push right, and forward to 5th. 5th to 1st gear, palm facing away from me, slight pressure backwards so that it springs to neutral, push to the left and forward to 1st. Let's try 4th to 1st. Palm facing away from me, push forward slightly to neutral, hold it slightly to the left, then forward to 1st. And finally, 4th to 2nd. Don't forget that you need to push against the spring for 2nd and 1st. So palm facing away from me, push forward slightly to neutral, hold it to the left and backwards. That's the end of the talk through. I'm now going to demonstrate changing gear without any pausing. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 3rd. Okay, let's try them all again. 1st, 2nd. Watch this video next to find out when to press the clutch. Thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe, and bye for now.